45-degree angle, somewhere in there. Let's see if it kind of yields anything. It's coming out through this one here, so we'll take advantage of that. Okay, I like to just make sure it's all cleaned out and we got everything out, so it looks like we did. All right, I'm gonna go for this one right here, that one. At an angle. I'm excited for 2018. I know it's going to be a fabulous year for all of us. Oh, look at that. Put pressure here and that one comes out of there. So I'm wishing you guys that just the same, just an amazing new year. I love new beginnings. Goals for this year is to have more videos for you guys. I told Christian whenever he wants to come down for the weekend to call me. I'll open up the place just to see him. Okay, let's see. Got these little tiny ones here. We'll go back and ice this. It's a little red. And I'll go down for him. Let me just double check here and this one's pretty deep, so I'm going to go through here and I'm going to open again, okay? You're holding up okay, Christian? from a different angle. And I am going to go ahead and open up again because I really feel like there's still stuff in there. And so it's coming out. Okay. Now I'm going to go with this one here. Right, so we're going to work on his nose. It's got some large ones through here. Okay, I'm going to work on the nose. Let's see what we can come up with. Christian, you're going to feel some pressure, okay? If it's too much, you just raise your hand. I'll be watching, okay? And then I'll pull back, okay? And I want you to breathe. I don't want you to pass out. See the base here, it's pretty deep in here. Hopefully it's not too deep. I don't want it to leave a big pore. It'll close the wood a little bit. That's it. And that one. Really good. I do want to update you on Daryl. He is doing good. He's doing his treatments. And thank you for those that are sending cards and packages to him. I so appreciate it. And we should be getting that to him in a couple of days. Some more batches that came in, and so thank you so much. It's so thoughtful of you guys, and so keep praying for him, and we're going to be giving you an update soon. I'm just making sure this is completely up. There we go. Usually I'll say that we have been having a beautiful day, but we have had a lot of rain in this area. stormed Colleen and Temple and kind of surrounding areas. So Draven, how are you?
Good.
Awesome. So are you seeing a difference on your skin?
Mm-hmm.
Great. What's the biggest difference that you think you've seen?
There's a lot less swelling.
Super, we like to hear that. So what I'm doing is getting those small little blackheads through here. Making sure that they just come up to the surface, and some buildup of oils. I'm going to turn him a little bit this way. I don't know if you remember on the last couple of videos that there was a dark spot. That was some tracking, and we went ahead and applied some trichloric acids to keep it from getting worse, and you could see it's dried up, so it'll even look better next time you see it. So right now it's just a lot of cleanup. A lot of that inflammatory condition has gone down. Go ahead and just go through those areas that need extraction. I've had so many of you ask about my wash, and it's a little harder to get everything in place like I want to, just because there's some details that I have to take care of. But thank you for hanging in there with me. Hopefully it will be resolved soon. Are you doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of going the areas that I see kind of catch my eye, because there's lots of little ones, so you might see one that I'm not seeing, but I promise eventually I will get to it. You've been asking about Christian, and we're going to be doing him soon. Okay, and so you'll see lots of little blackheads through here. I'm going to go ahead and work on that. So these are pretty superficial. Draven, you might feel this a little bit more because it's the neck area. So I'm going to try to be as gentle as I can, okay? once we pretty much finish with Draven, I'm gonna post the before and after pictures so that you guys can see the difference. It's looking so good. Okay, so he's got a little inflammatory one here. Okay, we're gonna go right here. Got a couple here. See a couple here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these. Like I said, they're small ones, but I'm gonna make sure we get it wrapped right here. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got some blackheads through here. I'm gonna go ahead and the jawline does. It's also uncomfortable. So the upper lip is uncomfortable and the jaw area is uncomfortable. neck area here. Draven, I feel it a little bit. Let's go ahead and check behind the ears and see if anything has accumulated. A couple little blackheads, but nothing major. Let's check back here. And so here, oils tend to accumulate. So remember we talked about how quickly oils oxidize and turn into little blackheads. So it's an area we just have to keep a close eye on. Okay, we're going to be working on his nose area. And let's see what we have here. So Draven has a mixture of filament, little blackheads, and vellus hairs. So it's a nice little combination. Can you breathe? You're breathing okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, making sure. They're coming out pretty nicely. Draven, you're holding up okay? All of these are little blackheads. And then I'll show you the vellus hair in a few minutes. And he still has some blackheads through here, so you want to make sure you get all those little corners taken care of. exactly how I do vellus hair. I just take these little sharp tweezers. I'm just going to remove it. And even though if you put pressure on it, they'll come right off. But again, if we don't have to put any pressure than we should, then just do the tweezers. It just cleans it off really nicely. Okay, so what I want to show you is these here is really where it is a little bit more painful. And Draven, hold on. This little tip is, but as you can see, there's a lot of blackheads there. And again, I don't want this area of his nose to become, the pores to become enlarged. And then these little corners here, same way. You're such a trooper. Thank you. Appreciate it. Believe me, it hurts me more than it does you because I don't like to cause anyone pain. Alright, so we're going to work on the other side. That's awesome. Well, today's a beautiful day. And so he's got a lot of little blackheads, and we haven't had a chance to really work on his nose. And so that's what we're going to do today. And some other little areas. So on this one definitely has a lot of blackheads, and you could see it. Some of our patients tend to have a little bit more filament, but these are definitely blackheads. I know this is unfair. we've missed our friend. So I'm glad you're here with us today. I'm going to go through this corner here. I want you to breathe, okay? All right. And unfortunately, it takes about, once the oil kind of hits up to the surface, and there's not a lot of fatty tissue here, it's just cartilage. It takes about 5 minutes for an oil gland to oxidize and start turning into a blackhead. So that's why you see if we do extractions in this area and you know, we record again, and you're like, how come it's back again? Well, that's why. And at his age, he's going to produce a lot more oils and oxidize pretty quickly. See that still little tiny ones through here. We'll get those in a minute. And if you hear this little baby in the background, I don't know if you hear it or not, but that's your little sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's adorable. Okay, and you could see. Again. So I'm going to show you one of the things that we do here. Now, I use a dry oil to do extractions around that nose area and this area that tends to get a little, like it becomes a little dry, and they're very small little tiny comedones. So contrary to what I always tell you, you know, make sure that your cotton tip applicator is nice and dry. This technique, because it is a dry oil, it works really beautifully. So I want to show you that. And it gets rid of a lot of that dryness around that nose area, okay? So here we go. And kind of see. Little tiny ones coming up. Hopefully the camera will pick it up. these tiny ones through here too. And as you can see, these are tiny ones through here. So that oil kind of pre-softens it for the skincare practitioner to be able to do extractions a little bit more easily. And I feel like it's the skin is a little bit more receptive when they're that itty bitty and so tiny on the nose area. Hold it up, okay? Alright. So I'm gonna move in this area. So let's see. Again, tiny ones through here. Okay, I'm actually gonna go right in here in the glabella area. It's an area that tends to get clogged pretty quickly, especially if you're oily. That central panel. get a lot of accumulation of oils in here, so it settles. So like I was saying before, it doesn't have this area through here, it oxidizes pretty quickly, and oils tend to settle in here. So, you know, whenever you're doing extractions, you want to make sure that this area is nice and clean too. And when doing your home care regimen, make sure you clean really good through here too. This way a little bit and go through these corners same way. Okay, so this little purple here, mentioned it before, it's tracking, and we want to make sure that we go ahead and open it up. It's going to bleed a lot. It's just a lot of bacteria that's sitting there. I want to go ahead and drain that out so it'll start healing. Okay, I'm going to stretch, and I'm going to get these little blackheads that are here. Holding up okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Stretch again. Some bacteria underneath here. Make sure we get that out again. Stretch through here. And some pressure because I just don't, you never want to really, when doing extractions, you got a lot of blood, you're going to spread a lot of that bacteria around that area. So it's just good to, in between, to really kind of clean. I'm gonna just do it really quickly for you guys, but just, you know, just kind of clean that area. And we do this in between videos, but I just kind of want to show you that's so important that you really clean that skin, because you do not want to mix that bacteria all over that skin. Keep that area as clean as possible. Going. I'm going to, let's see. Work through this area, but I go ahead and open some of these up because I want to make sure that we're not stressing our friend out or putting too much pressure. These are very tiny, as you can see. I am going to finish the other side for you. Okay, so now we're going to start on the other side. Things you really want to avoid is to keep those pores filled, because the more they stay filled, the bigger the pore will get, and so we want to make sure that he's getting his skin cleaned. so I'm going to go in here again. I'm going to go through here, and I'm actually going to skip this part here because it's almost time for my next client to come in. But I do wanted to have you see this area, and then I'll pick that up a little bit later if I have time. And that's where I put the oil and get the rest of those little ones out. So much, you guys, for allowing me to be a part of your, I guess, some of your daily viewing on YouTube. I appreciate that, and I truly look forward to seeing you guys next time. And just continue just to keep praying for Daryl, okay? And I should be recording surface, and we just keep cleaning it until we get them all cleared up. So I'm really excited with his results, and our goal is to have his skin completely clear by the time he goes to the new year at school. Traven, how are you?
Good.
Awesome. You enjoying your summer?
Yeah.
Awesome. It goes by fast, I think. So we have him on the 12%. And what I'm doing is go ahead and, he was washing his face just at night with the 12%. And now I'm changing his regimen for him to wash his face morning and night. I definitely don't want his skin to become acclimated. We always want to be ahead of the bacteria. So by stepping up the amount of the cleanser or the days that he uses it will help us manage those sticky cells from becoming blackheads. So really the trick to keeping acne at bay is always being a step ahead of the breakout, and diet has a lot to do with it, lifestyle, all of that. If you're wanting to go more of the natural approach to managing acne, definitely that's the way to go. Okay, I'm going to go through this area here and see what we have. I spoke to Daryl, and he seems to be in good spirits and seems to be doing so much better. He just so appreciative of everyone's support. I think he's very overwhelmed with gratitude. And thank you. So I am going to avoid some of this here because they tend to, it's pretty, bacteria is kind of pretty deep in here, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it out. I try to avoid some of these so that they're not continuously bleeding while I'm doing the work. I leave these kind of like for last, but you do want to get that bacteria underneath and get it out of there so that way it does not create any type of scarring. And once it's pretty clear, you'll see by the next treatment it'll look so much better. So what I'm going to do is just going to go ahead and put a little just cotton on that area so it'll hold up and doesn't get all over the place. Okay? That gets there. Travian, you really are doing so good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Home care regimen is so important, you know, and he's definitely keeping up with that, which is great. He's just run out of one of the cleansers, which he's going to pick up today. Okay, I'm going to go through here. Change that soiled cotton for something that's dry. And put a little pressure there. I'm going to open some of these for you guys. Bevel up, 35-degree angle, circular. I'm going to go through here. There's one here that has some bacteria underneath. There's some pus, and so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to open up through here, here, and here, and right in here, where the blackhead came out of. I try my best to stretch out first so that way the bacteria comes up to the surface before I push outward. Okay. stretch out, twist, and how are you holding up, sweetie?
Good.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. And I think he'll do really good. So I'm gonna go through here. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so he's got lots of little blackheads through here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get those out for him. I hope everyone is enjoying their summer. We're gonna be taking a vacation in July, which I'm looking forward to. Mine's probably gonna be more staycation, but anytime I get to just rest and spend time with my family is always great. I'm gonna make sure that this one is completely emptied out. And there it is. Now we talked about how, oils tend to oxidize very quickly in the pore. Now, it doesn't mean that when I say 5 minutes, it takes about 5 minutes for an oil gland to oxidize. Doesn't mean that in 5 minutes you're going to have a blackhead. What it actually means is that once that bacteria starts to build up and those cells start to accumulate and become like a martyr within the pore, then trapping that oil and bringing it to the surface, if it oxidizes, it will turn into a blackhead. So basically that's what I mean. So the process itself it'll take a little bit, but you'll start oxidizing once the right components come into play. So this is an area that we've talked about before. It's an area that accumulates a lot of oils. So of course it's going to settle. If you're oily, I recommend that when you're doing your cleanser, to get a cleansing brush. Don't use it every day because you don't want to overstrip your skin. But 2 to 3 times a week, it's really good to use to make sure that you get those areas that sometimes you can't reach, and those bristles really work nicely. I don't buy something that's going to scratch your skin, The one I recommend is the ultrasonic. Oh no, sorry. It's the one that I recommend is the Clarisonic. It's really good. So we use that here. Okay, and stretch. Some of these you'll see is just his brows, the little hair. see what I'm doing. I do want to do a shout out to Rachel Coleman from Missouri. She called us here at our center, and she was so precious and had nothing but great things to say, and oh, she just warmed my heart. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to talk to you because I was with a client, but I just want you to know that I got the message, and from the depths of my heart, thank you. That was so touching, you know, what you said, and totally appreciate you. And I'll be praying, okay? Hope you have an amazing 4th of July. And thanks again for watching and subscribing to my channel. Okay, I'm going to go through here, and this is another area that tends to accumulate a lot of oil. It's the brow area. And I'm going to open that area up with a probe. That'll help kind of loosen those up in that area. How are you holding up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Tiny, but got it out. I am gonna go ahead and wash that area for him, just to kind of soothe that skin. He's got some gorgeous brows, beautiful lashes. That we all want. Alright. Okay, so there's still some blackheads through here. Turn you this way a little bit here. I'm gonna open some of these up. And all right. I think he's Okay, you can see. I think his skin's doing really good over here. It's got little tiny ones. When I go in and see the videos, I think I've talked about this before, but as we're editing them and I'm looking at them to make sure that Johnny, which is our camera girl, she will not post anything until I approve it. And then I even find myself going, you missed one. So sometimes there's so many that I just won't catch it. So I understand you guys. I feel the pain. I'll go back and I'm like, oh, can't believe I did that. But it happens. But believe it or not, I will go back and get it. This area tends to be a little sensitive. Here we go. So the brow area, you know, that a lot of little blackheads can hide in that area. So you just kind of want to double check and go in there and get them out. Okay, the same here. You want to get this area. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just finish up with a couple of more extractions. And see he's going on vacation, so we'll see him most likely next week and we'll record again. To thank everyone for tuning in with us. It's a little bit shorter video. This can be a little bit uncomfortable, and I want to make sure